There is a moment that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with tears or panic or dramatic collapse. It arrives quietly. Someone sits down. On the edge of a bed. On a bus seat staring out the window. On a cold bathroom floor with their back against the wall. Not because their body is tired. But because something inside them finally stops holding. It feels less like breaking. And more like folding. Like a structure that carried weight far beyond what it was built for. And one day, without noise or warning, it simply gives in. People who have gone through too much know this moment. And if you've lived it, you know it doesn't feel loud. It feels hollow. Soft. Almost polite. It's the moment your heart quietly admits, I can't carry all of this at the same time anymore. And what's strange is that you rarely realize you've become this kind of person while it's happening. You don't wake up one day and think, I've been through too much. You notice it later. In small ways. Someone asks why you don't react the way others do. Why things that should upset you barely register. Why you stay calm in situations that make everyone else panic. And you don't know how to explain that it isn't calmness. It isn't peace. It's not strength in the way people imagine it. It's emotional numbness mixed with awareness. A stillness that forms when your nervous system has been overwhelmed too many times. When your emotions have been asked to run marathon after marathon without rest. Most people think resilience feels empowering. But for people who have gone through too much, resilience feels automatic. Like a reflex. Like survival. Not something you chose. Something you adapted into. And because of that, you carry a psychology others can sense even if they can't name it. There's a weight behind your eyes. A softness in how you listen. A pause before you answer questions. A carefulness in how you move through conversations. You learn how to fold emotions neatly. How to store them where they won't disrupt daily functioning. How to keep going even when your inner world feels chaotic. And this creates a paradox. People who have gone through too much often look mature. Wise. Grounded. Emotionally intelligent. They seem like the ones who have it together. But if someone could step inside their internal world, even briefly, they'd see something different. They'd see that this maturity wasn't earned through guidance or safety. It was forced. Extracted. Not developed by time, but demanded by circumstances. Some people grow because they are supported. Others grow because life gives them no alternative. And when your nervous system is exposed to prolonged emotional pressure, something changes. Psychologists describe this as adaptation through overload. The mind reorganizes itself to survive. Not perfectly. Not gently. But urgently. It becomes hyper-aware. Sensitive to shifts in tone. Attuned to emotional patterns others overlook. You begin scanning environments unconsciously. Reading between words. Preparing for outcomes before they happen. If you overthink, this is why. If you anticipate problems that haven't arrived, this is why. If uncertainty makes you restless, this is why. Your mind learned early that unpredictability was unsafe. So it built defenses without asking your permission. And even when life improves, those defenses don't disappear. They remain, like old architecture beneath a renovated building. People who have gone through too much carry an invisible education. They know how to read silence. They sense tension before it surfaces. They know how to avoid conflict without realizing they're doing it. They know how to calm others while their own heart stays tight. They make themselves smaller when attention feels dangerous. They recover quickly from disappointment because they were never given space to fall apart. These aren't personality traits. They are survival responses. Automatic scripts wired into the nervous system long before there were words for them. And because of this wiring, people often mistake your adaptations for who you are. They call you independent, low maintenance, emotionally strong. But what they don't see is the cost. There is tenderness in people who have gone through too much. A gentleness that comes from knowing pain intimately. Not conceptually. Experientially. And this tenderness is often misunderstood as weakness. But softness doesn't come from ease. It comes from difficulty. From learning empathy through immersion. From understanding that everyone carries something unspoken. This empathy creates another paradox. You become the person others lean on. The one who listens without judgment. The one who knows what to say. And yet, you were rarely held yourself. You know how to give warmth because you lived through cold chapters. You know how to hold space because no one held it for you when you needed it most. But behind that empathy lives exhaustion. Not the kind you fix with sleep. The kind that makes you withdraw quietly. The exhaustion of being emotionally competent for too long. Of carrying clarity for others while living with unanswered questions yourself. You can carry everything except yourself. You take care of others easily. Asking for help feels foreign. Not because you don't trust people, but because relying on someone once felt unpredictable, and unpredictability once meant danger. So you learned self-reliance, self-soothing, self-analysis. Not out of confidence, but out of necessity. To the outside world, you look composed, grounded, capable. Inside, there is sensitivity, alertness, a quiet overwhelm you don't name out loud. This duality becomes part of your psychology. You can be open and guarded at the same time. Caring yet distant. Present yet emotionally cautious. You don't avoid vulnerability because you dislike it. You avoid it because it once came with consequences. So you open slowly, in layers. Not to manipulate, but to protect. And here is the truth many people never hear. Nothing about you is broken. Your reactions make sense. Your caution makes sense. Your depth makes sense. Psychological adaptation is not a flaw. It is a response. The mind tells stories to survive. And when someone lives through too many heavy chapters, their internal narrative becomes complex, nuanced, layered. And despite everything, there is something profoundly beautiful about this psychology. People who have gone through too much love quietly but deeply. They notice small kindnesses. They value sincerity. They cherish peace because they know chaos. They continue even when tired. Not because they are unbreakable, but because they've already broken and learned how to stand again. There is wisdom that only comes from surviving yourself. A maturity that forms without instruction. A self-awareness born from decoding your inner world alone. And beneath all of it, there is still a part of you that wishes life had been gentler. Not perfect. Just softer. A version where you didn't have to grow up so fast. Where your nervous system didn't brace for impact. Where you weren't always the strong one. That wish doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And even without that gentler life, you keep moving forward. You keep showing up. You keep transforming experience into understanding. People who have gone through too much don't just survive life. They interpret it. They reflect on it. They turn pain into insight. And whether they realize it or not, they become a quiet source of light for others. Not because they try to be, but because they understand what it feels like to carry something you can't explain. And that understanding is its own kind of strength.